In today's episode, we will have Jay Santy from the Turnbuckle Tabloid joining us as what we're going to be talking about All In, AEW All In. Is it going to live to the hype after last night? Tony Khan added more matches. Also, who will be Roman Reigns' next challenger for the world title? Or is he going to take another break? We're going to have that and much more on the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. Welcome to another episode of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. I am your host, the infamous Ultimate One from New York City, and today I have no other than the man himself, the legend. I always call him the legend from Turnbuckle Tabloid, Mr. Jay Santy. Welcome back to my show, brother. What's going on?
I hear legend, and all of a sudden I feel like I'm like at the I'm almost at the door. You know, when you hear eh, like Ricky Steamboat going into the ring, and it's the legend, or
The
Bret Hart.
legend.
Like
That
shit,
me.
I still got podcasting years to go with me. I'm thinking about opening up another fucking podcasting spot. So
And,
get ready.
and talk about the what this time?
Uh I actually honestly between me and you, because I don't know nobody else is gonna be listening to this. No, I'm sorry. No, I'm actually thinking about doing something with music, and it's tough because with all the copyright strikes that you get with shit,
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if there's a way to get around that. Because I've been really interested to do a lot of music related stuff, especially old school hip hop and R&B stuff like that. So I'm gonna see if I could talk to the boss and if he can find out there's a way where I can have a podcast about that without getting striked.
All right. So I called you back in here because when we get together, we I think you're the only one that I could actually talk when it comes to wrestling because you bring a lot of informative stuff. Now we all know what's going on with AEW. I'm not even gonna talk about the damn CM Punk because I mean to me it sounds like any little bullshit he does. All these podcasters start talking about, oh, he did this, he did that, and to me, I'm always with the where you getting your resources at. But I want to talk to you about last night AEW Dynamite and then all these matches that were announced. Now AEW All In. I mean, the way I saw it, I thought they were going to add New Japan wrestlers, which I mean, even though Will Ospreay is in there, what was your thought about all these matches announced last night at Dynamite?
Well, I think that there was two things that was into play. First was there was a story that was going around saying that there was possibly a few wrestlers in the locker room that were kind of nervous about what's going on because
Yep.
they weren't aware of whether or not they should, book their flight. Are they going to be booked? Are they going to be part of signings? And although Bully Ray on his podcast had said that he likes the fact that um, they're going into a big venue and a big event without calling the match card as of yet, and they're still waiting. They're still waiting. I thought that was a little haphazard. I thought it was a little clumsy because even still, tickets are sold, and that's all they really cared about. But I think they really realized that storyline wise, a lot of this stuff was not meshing together, and it wasn't happening. And I believe storyline wise, there was a lot of open-ended stuff that nobody would have really cared about going into All In. So I think they clumsily put together this card in the last minute.
I mean, the first match they announced, which was the Stadium Stampede. Now I want to know how they're gonna do that because the last two times they did the Stadium Stampede was in the middle of the football field at Daily Place and there was no crowd, whatever. Now they're gonna be at this humongous stadium that holds over probably over 100,000 people. You're gonna have 80 something thousand people in there, and I mean the match itself, which I mean in a way I'm like kind of saying, well, it's kind of stupid in a way because Didn't we just saw Bloods and Guts where BCC picked Pac as part of the and Takeshita as part of the group to go against the Elite, and two of them walked out. So now they got to get three other guys to back them up. I mean, who do you think you see them teaming up with?
Could the answer be I don't give a shit? Because like I said, it's lazy. It's put together haphazardly. I think that right now, and I know a lot of AEW fans might not like this, but it's very Vince's because it is very Vince McMahonish because at this point right now they're just basically saying, I got your money, sucker, so I don't give a shit. Who gives a shit what we put together storyline wise. We already know that you guys are gonna be in the building, and you don't really care about stories. You just want to watch wrestling, and for those who are into that, that's fine. But I think that when the promoter and the owner of the company is doing that as well, I really don't think it makes a lot of sense, especially with the investors or the not investors, the network execs who are looking forward to this wholeheartedly afterwards. To me, I agree with the stadium stampede thing where the stadium is. To be honest with you, I think it's played. I think this is just a way of them saying, "All right, let's find a way to throw a double decker bus in there. Somebody's going to go through a double decker bus or jump off of one." There's going to be a lot of England, London, British references. You're going to see a lot of footballers, soccer players, cricket, fucking bats.
Rugby.
You're gonna somebody's gonna be at a pub. You're gonna see a lot of that kind of shit. And it's
I mean, to me, it's like I'm thinking like running through my head. I'm like, the only guy that I can see them bringing in is Shota Umino from New Japan Pro Wrestling, who's always like he kind of like his gimmick is like John Moxley in New Japan.
right.
But then I can't see who else. Two other guys are going to team up with them, but we'll see on that. But the the most interesting one that really caught my eye, which I think the segment was pretty good, with the Don Callis and Jericho, the whole thing. But it kind of surprised me that they actually brought in Will Ospreay, because there was rumors going around that Will Ospreay was going to wrestle Jericho. But you know how people talk, people was like, "Oh, that's impossible because Will Ospreay is going to be in England that weekend, and he's supposed to be in Red Pro, and he's fighting Shingo Takagi and whatnot." And I'm like, whatever. I mean, it's not like the man can travel, you know. I mean, don't you think that Will Ospreay Jericho is not something you really want to watch now with Jericho at his stage? Because I mean, he has slowed down.
I think this is just a testament to show people that Will Ospreay doesn't. He doesn't have to do the Will Ospreay style. That he'll show glimmers of it during the match, but um, he could show that he could just wrestle a real pro style, kind of maybe classic match or a little slower paced kind of match. And this is Jericho's way of saying, as always, hey, I can still go with the best of them. And we've seen in the past few matches that he's had that he really hasn't. We saw a lot of ring fatigue and a lot of missteps happening with him in the past few matches. So will he is this his um breakthrough in England, blah blah blah, whatever kind of match you're gonna say for Jericho? Sure, this is one of those he could get off his bucket list, but I wouldn't be surprised if they put on a banger because of Osprey. But on the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if that's just gonna stink like Limburger.
And another match that I said to myself, you know, because they were saying that Omega was not going to be at All In, which I was like, there's no way in the world that Omega's not going to be an All In when he was in the first one. So they decided not to have a one-on-one match with Omega against Takeshita. So they added Bullet Club Gold into the mix. Right now, you got Hangman Page and Kota Ibushi, because they had Ibushi hasn't been seen since what? Since Blood and Guts.
Blood
It's
and
been like
guts.
3-4 weeks. So to me, it's like that to me was lazy booking because either that or are they trying to have a day Bullet Club Gold version to start feeding with the elite? That's the way I looked at that.
Um, yes and no. I think with they might have something in the capsule when it comes to Bullet Club Gold. I'm actually you might be surprised, but I'm actually a fan of it. I actually like adding the guns to that group. I think that the group does have potential to be something that needs to be fresh on that show and on that in that promotion. With the Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi tandem, with we've seen with the Golden Lovers for years. I know that that's basically already going to draw eyes to it. But you know, once again, I was like, we lost the shuffle going on in Blood and Guts when you know people were walking out during matches. And why would I want to pair myself up with Take a Shitter when he's walked out of one match already, and I'm gonna have him on my team for another one? It's like
Yeah,
okay.
it didn't make no sense. First of all, it's like, okay, so Don Callis is supposed to be building this family, but then you see Bullet Club Gold, right? Then you got Osprey in there, who's part of United Empire. So I'm like, it's this is Don Callis family. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me as that part.
None of it makes sense because you built up a storyline for about a month and a half with Jericho breaking up his crew. You had him stand in the middle of the ring being tongue lashed by all his people. Most of them, all of them walked out on him.
Yeah.
For then the following week, you have him commit to Callis, and Callis pulls out the picture just so that you could beat the shit out of him.
That didn't make no fucking sense. I
Yeah,
don't know that whole picture thing because it's like,
yeah.
you know, I mean, so all this time he was gonna turn on him regardless. You know what I'm saying? So I think that the reason they did that is because they want to break up that JAS. Because in reality, let's be realistic. That group has not succeeded at all, with the
Well,
exception of maybe Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia.
yeah, it's run its course. I mean, you know, certain things just you could see say still works. Like when you see New Day and such like that, it still holds up to this day. And then when you get certain other factions and groups, you're like, all right, time to roll them out. Next,
So do you think that this event is gonna live the hype or?
um, I'm 50-50 because you're in England, so me taking a shit in the middle of the ring would actually draw fucking chance. So I think that's gonna be great. That's basically what's gonna put the crowd over. If you can't sell this crowd, you're fucked. But then the other thing I said, it's like you're in England, you're in London, and they don't get stuff like this often. So um, it's like feeding a homeless a rack of fucking Ritz crackers. If they don't usually eat food often, they're gonna be thinking that this is gonna be the most delicious thing they've ever had in their life. So it's cool.
Yeah.
You had posted something about the whole Wembley comparison with WWE and
Yeah.
AEW. And it's a good showing for everybody. And and I made a comment. I was like, WWE doesn't really have to do it because they sell out everywhere.
Yeah.
This is a cash grab for Tony Khan because they already their family already does business out overseas and such, so they already know how to move money that way. And either way, they're looked as fucking horrible owners and such in any case. But when you get a cash grab like this, it's fine. I kind of think also this is their way of showing the networks and others that things can be possible because I don't know, those US numbers are looking really bad, man. It's not it looks like the shine is coming off of that golden trophy that came out 3.5-4 years ago.
Yeah, I think they reported they gained viewers this yesterday probably about 36,000. They're still stuck on that 874,000. I mean, Collision is not going to do well because it's a Saturday. I think for Collision, I think Collision is way better show than Dynamite. You know, I think because of the also the commentators. I mean, I think the way they produce it is a better show. But I mean, yeah, AEW has not like they're not consistent. They'll do 1 million one week, and then the following week they'll do I don't know 700,000 and whatnot. But you know, I don't know. Maybe it's because it probably is a Wednesday night, but they were doing 1 million in Wednesday night. So can it be because of all the bad reckless shit that you hear from all these dirt sheet? But it is what it is. Now, the one match that got me, I think the one match that I really want to see what really happens, and I honestly I felt like when this match really happened between MJF and Adam Cole in the beginning, I was like, why are they putting this shit in July? But I didn't know they were gonna do this whole last month and a half parody, whatever. Do you think that Adam Cole is the one who's gonna turn heel and use the Kingdom and Roderick Strong to get the belt from MJF?
I smell a NXT trope, or it kind of smells like when Cole turned on Kyle O'Reilly at NXT.
Mhm.
I got that feeling going on with it. But at the same time, are we really going to do that? Because what we're doing is we're basically putting MJF as a face here. Once that happens, I mean, he's already riding the face run. I guess maybe it it if that happens, then it's kind of odd to see uh face MJF champion chasing down a heel of Cole's caliber. I would have thought logically somewhere else that along the line, just to give that big swerve, something of a pop for the crowd. But I think it's gonna be, MJF doing what MJF does, and he's gonna be paying the devil's due, and just he'll be the one that's turning.
Yeah, because the reason I say that because the Kingdom is involved, and the way they're making the storyline, and Adam Cole and the Kingdom have history because they were part of
Right,
the Kingdom back in the days.
right.
Roderick Strong, of course, with the Undisputed Era, whatever. So it's like more of these were all my friends, so they're making it look like he's turning on his friends. But I don't know. I'm going to call it right now that Adam Cole is turning heel, and he'll
Yeah,
do something.
I'll see it happening, but logically for me, once again, I'm just going into it, and I go, all right, so I guess we're gonna see a face MJF, or okay, but
And
also, I know a lot of the people love the vignettes. I know they like the the camaraderie that MJF and Cole is having. Me, I think it's like it's cute.
he said it's cute.
It's cute, and that's what it is. It's just I just don't. I like I said, I just don't. I hate hearing this AEW WWE kind of banter, because if you didn't know it from the beginning to what it is now, AEW is basically doing the same shit that fucking WWE does. Because guys, lean in for this. You might want to hear this. It's sports entertainment. It's all the same shit. Let's look at the fucking match we had on Dynamite, the Texas Chainsaw match.
Oh, that was oh my god.
Um, they had a belt for it.
Yeah, I know. I saw
They
that.
had a belt for it.
You know what's funny? That now that you mentioned that belt, now they're talking about they're gonna try Jack Perry's next week's gonna retire the FTW belt. And I'm like, you know what? I'd rather have the FTW belt than that stupid belt that Jeff Jarrett had. Cause I mean, even though the FTW is not it's not a sanctioned belt, but it has some type of history. You know what I'm saying? And when I saw Jeff Jarrett with his stupid belt, I'm like, I can't. I mean, that whole match was just stupid. They might as well have made an 8-man tag. You had all these people involved in this Texas Chainsaw Massacre match, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? The first 2 minutes out of this is stupid. You know?
Yeah, um it's once again, it's to pop the numbers. And they know that somebody's gonna sit there and be like, let me look at this stupid shit, how it is. And when you look at how, like you said, what the numbers are looking at, like week by week, when they used to draw in numbers from, eight, I mean, a mill, low mills, high 900,000s every week. You're now hovering around that 830, 840, 850. They got the 874
Yesterday.
yesterday, and even that, it's still like, okay. Um, it goes to show you because um, they have their centralized audience, and basically that centralized audience is podcasters like us, um, other outlets of social media who are going to critique and monitor it, and then it's their core audience. There's not any other eyes being drawn to the product, as opposed to I was surprised what happened with NXT this past week, who almost made 700,000 viewers, and I was like, oh shit, look at that. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they got to do something about this because this is just getting ridiculous. Like they're not consistent. I remember the week after Blood and Guts, that show they put the following week, that shit was garbage. And I'm not trying to knock down AEW because I do like AEW. I mean, but when it's trash, it's trash. I'm gonna say it how it is. You know what I'm saying? But last night's AEW was pretty good, with the exception of that stupid Texas Massacre chain match, or whatever the hell it was.
Mm.
So let's move on with WWE here now. We saw SummerSlam. Matter of fact, let me ask you this: what was your thoughts on the ending of the Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso match?
Um, it was twofold. Predictable and nonsensical.
You
I
said
think
predictable.
predictable. Yeah, it was predictable
Mm.
for me because, um, first of all, I knew he wasn't gonna. I knew Jay wasn't winning, and
Oh, we know that, but I'm saying like the way it ended, like the whole betrayal shit.
yeah, Jimmy's written off of TV for a while. Somewhere along the line, Jimmy was going to come in and get involved. I think I even said it on my podcast. I predicted that something was going to get involved. I thought maybe it was going to be more along the lines to where he was going to super kick Roman. He misses. He hits Jay. That's when Jay um, loses the match accidentally, right? But as for the way that they did it, it was like, oh, okay. Um, there were rumblings even in years past of how to get the Usos to face off against each other if they wanted to. I don't know why that they always have to do that. It just never makes sense. But I think they wanted to have something like that as well. But I think they've hit a writer's block moment now with how to do this, because once we saw coming on SmackDown that Jay has now said he's left WWE, it's like, okay, and so somebody skidded off the tracks here. And we got to find a way to get it back on board. But yeah, I think creatively they've hit a roadblock.
Yeah. Because to me, once I saw that, I was like, are they really? I mean, are they really going to water this down? Especially on Friday when I saw the what was the excuse that Jimmy did, why he did it. I'm like, okay, this don't make no sense. But that leaves us with the question: is who is going to be Roman Reigns' next opponent? Because as you well know, it took him 5 months to defend that damn belt. And I've been big uh, type of person that I'm like, this guy only had 29 damn title defenses, 3 years, and took 5 months to defend the belt. Now it looks like he's going to take another 5 months. Do you see anybody in the SmackDown roster that could be the next opponent for him from here to, let's say, Royal Rumble?
All right, so I was having a conversation with my neighbor about this. Shout out to my boy Edwin. He's a wrestling fan as well, and we were discussing about the whole long title reigns thing. And he says, it kind of, it reminds me of the old school days of wrestling. Hogan holding the belt for 3 years and all that stuff. I said that system went and long and died years ago because there's certain elements that are in play now that we didn't see before, and vice versa. First of all, back in the days when we were watching wrestling, you saw wrestling, it was like once, maybe twice a week. And when we watched it, anytime we watched wrestlers, who were they wrestling? They're wrestling jobbers. So
Yeah.
when you watch the wrestler beat up on a jobber, the only interaction they really had with another wrestler before they even really touched ring wise was promos or run-ins on a match, or maybe a run-in on a promo like Brother Love show or some shit like that. So you could have you didn't see Hogan wrestle until like Mania or not Mania, but
Or Saturday Night Main Event.
nice main event. So that was like a big thing. They're trying to implement that these days with wrestlers like with Roman and such, but it doesn't translate well because Roman's not out there beating up on jobbers every week. Roman's not out there cutting, basically interactive promos every week. They're trying to, give him certain spaces so that they could get that feel, but it's not transitioning well. Also, with the way the climate is, like I said, with the lack of jobbers being used and such, everybody's touching, everybody's in the ring with each other. So it makes sense when you see on any given day that somebody can beat somebody else, and it doesn't really look believable when it's not happening with Roman. So for who's his next opponent, you could go up the card with anybody that's on, that's in
SmackDown
right now. You could put, Theory there. Everybody's interchangeable. You could put AJ Styles there. You could see Sheamus again go up for that again. Maybe
or
Sheamus
Bobby Lashley.
or Bobby with the new crew coming together. It's you could throw anybody in that mix. But if we don't see Roman Rock at Mania, if we don't see that, because I've wholeheartedly still agree that with my own thoughts is that the big match is who's the real tribal chief, Roman or The Rock, and that match doesn't need a belt. So if something's gonna supersede and intervene in that, don't be surprised if a trade happens and you see Cody on SmackDown one day.
It's funny because I was just thinking about that. I'm like, uh, so if let's say if Cody does go to SmackDown, do you see him winning the Royal Rumble, or you see somebody else from Raw winning the Rumble? I mean, it could be anybody from the Rumble. I mean, from Raw to win it, and then have I don't know Cody win the Elimination Chamber, gets a title shot at Roman. I mean, because I mean, at the end of the day, for the last year, we all been hearing it. The story's got to end with Cody beating Roman.
Does,
So, what are your thoughts about that?
does Cody have to win it at Mania?
Does he have to win at Mania?
Right.
I mean, he don't have to, but was the biggest stage that he would like to do it? It will be It will be Mania. I mean, because think about it, Mania is the biggest show of the year. It's the most crowd, the biggest. And I think they're doing it in Philadelphia this year at the
Right.
stadium with the Philadelphia Eagles. So we're talking about close to maybe 80, 90,000 people at hand. Him beating Roman for the belt.
I said that if it was gonna be that way, um, I don't see a problem with him beating Roman in the Rumble. He doesn't have to be in the Royal Rumble match. We've already seen him win it. I think that people will get the burnout of seeing him winning the Rumble twice, 2 years in a row. If you haven't won 2 years in a row the Royal Rumble, they're gonna fucking turn on him quick.
That's yeah. Me and you got the same thinking
Yeah,
pattern because I'm like, if he
yeah.
wins it again, as you saying it, I'm thinking to myself, if he wins it again, they're gonna turn on him.
They're gonna turn on him quick, and I don't think they're ready to put the lights out on that.
Mhm.
I think it's more along the line that they'll line up a match at Rumble where Roman loses, and then we could see the possible buildup between Roman and Rock for that to be the true tribal chief match. And I think it'll make more of a better sense to get a match with Cody and pick your poison, anybody on that card, and that they
Maybe
could
with
put out
Seth
a mega,
Rollins.
and
I mean, I
maybe
don't see Seth Rollins with that belt though. But
maybe with Seth. Well, after after Damian cashes in finally, that belt, I think that belt is going to become their pseudo intercontinental belt. It's going to be their pseudo workers belt, as opposed
yeah,
to the WWE undisputed title, which is going to be like the face of the company title.
yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised that we would probably see Cody versus Seth for the title at Mania. That'll be their will that be their rubber match? Or,
That'll be that rubber match. Yeah.
yeah. So I
So
would
do you see Damien winning that belt? I mean,
I do see Damian cashing in one way or another.
or winning it?
What the title?
Yeah, the World Heavyweight Championship.
The unfortunate part about it is that Damian, I could see him winning it and just being transitional, because one way along the line, I think they want to give that belt to Finn.
Really?
Yeah, I think they want to give that belt to Finn.
It's funny
I
because
like the storyline that's going with it, because I like now that they putting in JD McDonough in the mix a little bit, who's baby Finn. And I'm not mad at that. He's actually really good, man. He's a talent.
yeah, he's good. Yeah, I saw him. I think on Monday.
Yeah, he's
First
actually.
time.
Yeah, he's if you guys don't know Jordan Devlin before he became JD McDonough, he's been, like I said, he's baby Finn. He's practically his son. But I like what they're doing with that, and the interturmoil that's happening between the Judgment Day. I know everybody was like, why do we got to do it like that? I said, but I kind of like it with this. I know I'm contradicting what I said before about the whole Jericho Society thing, but this
they're teasing the breakup for the last 3 months.
yeah, but I like it because of what's involved and what's in play with the Money in the Bank and the title.
Yeah, because I see maybe because Finn Balor and JD McDonough are very close, but I still see maybe Finn Balor getting kicked out because of his issues with Priest and JD McDonough joining them.
I see the other way. I see Damien getting kicked out.
You think so?
Yeah, I see that happening. I think that Finn, if storyline is done right, he'll think that Damien is getting too big headed for the group. He's getting too much of following, especially now that um, fans are drawing more and more to Damien and stuff. I think it'll play. It plays. It's very DX. It's very evolution.
Yeah, I it would be nice to see Finn Balor have a little run with the world title because he won the Universal title 27 years ago, and he only had it for less than 24 hours. So it would be nice to see him with the belt. What was that?
He said 27 years ago.
No, well, 7 years ago. I said 27 years. It seems like it. That shit was forever.
Yeah, right.
But it would be nice for him to have a run. It would be nice to have a run though. So, anyway, that is it for us today, bro. So let everybody know where they can find you, your social media, your show, all that stuff, my brother.
Man, guys, make sure you check us out on also social media outlets. Check us out on the like and group page on Facebook. Check us out on Instagram at Turnbuckle Tab. Make sure you check us out on X. That shit sounds so stupid.
I still call it Twitter.
That shit is so dumb. Check us out on my X.
My ex.
At turnbuckletab.com. Also check us out on TikTok and on YouTube. Be sure you check us out on all podcasting outlets. Wherever you can find a podcast, just search Turnbuckle Tabloid. Get down, lock down, subscribe, be a part of the vibe at Turnbuckle Tabloid. And always check out the family at RageWorksNetwork.com and at RageWorks.net.
The same thing over here. You can find the Chokeslam Wrestling Report on the YouTube channel, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I still call it Twitter. Also check out, like I said, YouTube channel. Subscribe to the channel. Check out all my other contents there, guys. Also check me out on my TikTok. Also, I got my TikTok going on, so check us out. Again, brother, thanks a lot for coming through. You know what I'm saying? It's been a while. We haven't done this and whatnot. So we'll probably hook up again after All Out, because I can't believe that Tony Khan is doing All In, then the following week All Out. I mean, what are you gonna get out of that? I don't know.
And listen, it's spot booking, I guess. I guess is what he's doing. I don't fucking know.
That's it for me, guys. So we'll see you next week with more content, more wrestling news and rumor. Until then, be safe. I'm out.